Welcome to CoatingsCast, the ultimate podcast dedicated to the science, art, and innovation of liquid and fluid applied roofing, coatings for surfaces, and waterproofing. It's time to roll up our sleeves, put on our lab coats, and dive headfirst into the world of liquid protection that keeps your roofs and surfaces in prime condition. The future is here, and it's liquid, so don't miss out. This is CoatingsCast, where every drop counts in the world of roof and surface protection.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CoatingsCast. My name is Karen Edwards, and today we are thrilled to welcome Will Lorenz from General Coatings to the podcast to talk about all things spray foam roofing. Will, it's great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Karen. I always enjoy being a part of the road shows and the coffee shops. It's always a great experience, so positive and friendly, and you get the message out about all these great roofing products, and happy to be a part of it.
Yes, and Will, you have such an amazing background in the industry, and you bring such knowledge. So we love having you as a guest and sharing that wisdom. But there may be some people, maybe they're newer to the industry, who don't know who you are. So how about you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody out there who you are and where you're from.
Well, thank you. My name is Will Lorenz. I'm president of General Coatings. We are a manufacturer of spray foam roofing products and roof coatings. So coated foam assemblies are the type of products we sell into. We have manufacturing locations in California and in Texas. And currently I reside now in Arlington, Texas, near our facility, but moved to Texas here to be near my new grandson who was born on Saturday. So very excited.
Congratulations. I knew there was a baby coming, but I didn't know when. And
Thank you. Yeah, baby Miles was born early Saturday morning, and we're just thrilled to be our first grandchild, and he's just a wonderful baby. We're so blessed.
Yeah. Wow. It's, lots of grandparents end up moving to be near the grandkids. We see that a lot. But hey, this industry is all about family. At the end of the day, family is the most important thing. So congrats from all of us at the coffee shops to your new little bean. That's what we call our babies.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk spray foam roofing systems and help our listeners understand how they differ from more traditional roofing options, the things that we maybe hear about or see more often.
Sure. Well, in most cases, spray foam roofing is used in what we call low slope roofing or commercial roofing. So buildings that you see, whether they're office buildings, whether they're warehouses, whether they're entertainment centers in Las Vegas, or cold storage buildings. And what building owners are looking at is trying to save energy and have a performing roof system. They're looking to make a smart investment, and the products that General Coatings manufactures are liquid systems that a contractor then applies out on the field, so it's customized to the roof, and it does a great job of sealing up penetrations and providing a seamless waterproofing system that's insulated. And so it can go over new construction, or it can go over existing roofs, provided that there's only a single layer of existing roof on there. But it's a great universal solution to many roofs that if you had it for a while, it's older, and you're looking to try and keep your contents dry and figure out how to maybe save some energy. Spray foam's a great solution there.
How long has spray foam roofing been around as an option for building owners?
Its origins go back to the late 60s, early 70s. And in many parts of the country, particularly what I would call hot and dry climates, it's still quite popular. If you look at places in California, Arizona, Florida, Texas, there's a lot of spray foam roofing that's being used there. It's also used nationally in places like Ohio and Pennsylvania and places like that. But, what it excels in is buildings that, need insulation. And, you want to spend your money both to waterproof your roof and keep out the rain and keep out the snow, but also to save some energy. And really, air conditioning costs are so significant now with energy prices up that spray foam is a great alternative to doing that, because it provides a continuous layer of insulation that kind of keeps the heat from coming into the building, and thereby reducing your energy costs, so you're not heating or air conditioning the world.
Right. Now, you mentioned cold storage facility. They have unique needs when it comes to their insulation. Why is spray foam such a good choice?
Well, so what happens is, you have a building, and let's say you want to keep a frozen meat in there. So you're looking at, temperatures of minus 20 to minus 50. So really cold stuff, because you want to keep it nice and firm. And so what happens is you have a requirement for a significant amount of insulation on that roof. But then you also have to seal it well, so moisture and energy loss doesn't occur. And so what happens is, if you put on a traditional membrane system with insulated board, you have seams or gaps, and many times you have penetrations that you're using fasteners and things to lock down that board. And those things end up being conduits for energy loss. And spray foam doesn't have those things. We're a continuous insulation, and it can be applied in multiple layers depending on whether your cold storage building is a requirement for, let's say, 45 degrees, 30 degrees, 0 degrees, or minus 50. And so spray foam can fill that role depending on what the building requirements are. You just add more insulation, and then you add more coatings. And the protective coatings are there for two purposes primarily. One, a wear surface to provide solar reflectance so that you're not bringing that heat into the building. And then two, to act as a vapor retarder so that the moisture doesn't come in and saturate the insulation or get into the building. Most people don't realize that physics kind of happens. If you have something like a can of pop out there, a can of soda, and you see it sweating, what's happening is that colder soda is drawing moisture from the air to condense onto that surface. And so what happens is you need insulation to do that. And that's how spray foam works. It's the insulation that keeps that condensation from happening in the building or on top of the building, because it's well insulated. It's
why we put the can of soda inside a koozie, right? So we can think of that spray foam as a nice koozie, on top of that building. So I'd like to get a little more, not necessarily technical, but talk to me a little bit about the for a new construction project. Does this go right on top of the substrate, the deck?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So, most low slope roofs in construction are either concrete, structural concrete, or they're steel, or they're plywood. And those three options, usually spray foam with a primer, is going down directly onto it. We've done a number of buildings where, the concrete, you just put a primer down to kind of seal it so you don't get any moisture coming up from it. And then you can put, a couple inches to 10 inches of spray foam on top of it so that you seal it up depending on the purpose you want the building to do. But generally with spray polyurethane foam, 2 inches does a great job of waterproofing it. And then, building codes may require you to put more on it to meet whether it's R30, R40, R60. Some places in the Northeast, the R value numbers are quite high. Yeah. We kind of think spray foam outperforms the other at those higher R values, but, code is code. So.
Sure. So in the case of, maybe someone's got an aging roof and they're thinking about, okay, I need to do something. I need to repair this, replace it, restore it. What kind of existing roof systems can a spray foam system go over top of?
Great question, Karen. Thank you. Typically, ideal surfaces are things like mott bit, built-up roof systems. You can go over other roof systems that, let's say, have been in place for years, metal roofs, things like that. When you get to membranes, then it comes down to whether it's a choice of whether or not you want to put, let's say, a protection board like Den's Deck down and then put the spray foam system on top of it, or take off that membrane and then apply the spray foam directly onto the existing insulation that's there. But it can go over practically any existing roof systems. Code requires that new roof systems or updated roof systems only have 2 roof layers. And so if the roof has a single layer, then you can recover it, is the term we use in spray foam, with an additional layer of insulation, because it's technically another roof system you're putting on it.
Right. Okay. So from an application standpoint, it's liquid, right? We're spraying it. Is it faster than a traditional roofing system? What are some of the benefits that it brings to the table for contractors?
Yeah, thank you. I think it's a very low labor system. Typically, a spray foam operation has a guy down in the trailer or the truck where they have the barrels and the foam equipment, and then they run a hose up to the roof. And usually there's a couple people on the roof, a sprayer, a hose man, perhaps a supervisor. And if they're doing a lot of work, they have a couple people out there doing some prep work ahead of them. But it's very efficient from a labor standpoint versus a lot of the other traditional roof systems, where they need many people laying down the board stock, many people laying down the protection board, many people laying down the membranes, many people, doing all the trim work with regard to around the penetrations and the edges. Spray foam is a self-flashing material, so you spray it down, and as a liquid, it rises up and seals around, whether it's a pipe or whether it's a wall transition. And, I think people have used things like products in their home to seal around pipes, the one component can foams. This is that, but it's just at an industrial level. This is plural component materials that are applied by a trained professional on the roof, but it can seal up anything and really provide slope and proper drainage to roofs that, if they were older and they were kind of sinking in a little bit, the foam can kind of fill that in and move the water towards the appropriate drain or out to the gutters. So it's just so versatile.
It's, self-flashing is so critical, because penetrations, roof-to-wall connections, these are points that are more likely to experience leaks with traditional systems and traditional methods of flashing. But your description of, using that spray can at home to seal something, it goes and fills it right up, and there's no air getting in and around that for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, when you look at roofs, I agree, Karen. Most of the flat surfaces of roof systems, whether it's spray foam or others, work really well, unless a seam opens up or someone damages things. Those things are the performing parts of roof. Now, when you get to the penetrations, you get around, AC units, you get around skylights, you get around platforms, you get around things that have your solar stanchions. This is where it's tricky to seal up and make sure that water doesn't come in. And these are areas where many times that penetration you have goes all the way through the roof. So if water were to get in around that membrane or around that boot that they put there, it's coming right into the building.
Sure. And so spray foam, whether it's a drain or whether it's a stanchion for a PV system, seals around it. So, again, it's not a thin layer of 45 or 60 mils of membrane. It's a couple inches of foam around it. So it's really hard as a closed cell foam for anything to get through it. Yeah. Are you seeing more growth in the use of spray foam roofing systems?
We are. We're seeing folks that when they're looking at their buildings and saying, we need this to last, but we don't want to have a system where we have to keep tearing it off after X number of years. We'd like to have something sustainable. We'd like to have something that we could make some incremental levels of investment and keep it going. And that's what spray foam is. You can put the roof on with the coating. Let's say you put on a 20-year roof system with the amount of acrylic or silicone or urethane roof coatings. And then as you get closer to the end of that coating service life, not the foam, end of the coating service life, you can go get on the roof, do some minor repairs, and then you can recoat it. You can put another layer of protective coating on top of it, extending the life out, whether it's another 10 years or another 20 years. And suddenly you're not opening the building up. You're not having to spend that much money on a giant tear-off and a new re-roof. You're spending more of an incremental cost to keep the roof system going. And then you can do that several times. There's many roofs that are out there that have been out there 30, 40, 60 years because spray foam was, being done, on a much larger scale back in the 90s and so forth. And those roofs are 30 years old today.
Yeah. Wow. Everything comes back in trends, right? Whether it's clothes, whether it's colors, and whether it's spray foam roofs, we're seeing that really kind of reemerge. So let's talk about, if a contractor's listening today and saying, you know what? This is a system that I feel like I should be offering to my customers. What are some of the challenges or learning curves that they should be aware of when getting into this?
Well, that's another great question. I think it's twofold. One, hopefully you're a skilled roofer. I mean, if you're not in the roofing trade, then you need to get basic roofing skills. NRCA, other places provide those opportunities to learn about all the things that you need to do on a roof safely, because you're the professional up on the roof. You're the person evaluating the roof and providing to the building owner, what should be done there. So assuming that you meet that skill level, then bringing on spray foam is quite simple. Usually you need an investment into the equipment, and usually that's a trailer with a spray foam unit, some pump systems, a coating pump and generator, things like that, and an air compressor. So that investment runs, if you have your existing trailer, it might be $50,000 up to $150,000 if you're starting over and you want, brand new super equipment. Mm-hmm. And then it's down to, training some of your employees. And our company, General Coatings, offers that training, as well as our industry organization, SPFA, Spray Polyurethane Foam Alliance, offers the ability for people to learn from a very basic level of what we would call a hose puller, all the way up to a person who is a field applicator or a person who specifies the foam. And but when I tell people, usually you need about 3 people that are highly skilled to get into this business. You need someone who knows how to sell this product, make sure you can make money at this job. Right. Then you need a good supervisor who can manage the job. And then you need a sprayer, someone with the skills of being able to apply the foam down in a uniform manner. And so, usually if you can invest in 3 individuals, get them trained up, you can get into this business quite successfully.
Yeah. There's not a lot of barriers to entry. But yeah, so the Spray Polyurethane Foam Alliance provides training, and they also do an annual conference and trade show. So there's educational opportunities. And I know that throughout the event, which is coming up real fast here in Las Vegas, contractors have the ability to become certified.
That's correct. Yeah. We have they have a PCP program, which is their training course for both insulation contractors and spray foam roofing contractors, and it has 4 levels in the program, and most of the things are available online. The coursework, but you can take it there in Las Vegas. It's available in English and in Spanish. And then we are part of organizations that have been contributing to offer the field exam. So this is a verification of your skills. They're at Las Vegas in person, where you can get behind the gun, pull the trigger, apply out the foam, show that you really know your stuff and that you can, apply it properly and safely. And so we're glad to be a part of that. And we think it's a great thing for the industry to keep offering to people, because there's only so much you can learn from a book or from a slide deck. You need to be able to prove it out there in the field.
Yeah, or a YouTube video, right? Don't we all look stuff up on YouTube? How do I do this? Let me watch a video. Now I'm an expert. But if someone is not...
On that point, we do have a lot of videos on our General Coatings website that do talk about how to do the specific details. They're animated videos. They're pretty easy to follow. They're 25, 40 seconds. So people can say, well, how do I do a drain? Well, there's maybe 3 different kinds of drains, generally speaking, and we have videos on all of that. How to do a wall, how to do a scupper, how to go around a PV stanchion. And so all those things are there. So there's a lot of easy learning for people to pick up.
Great. And if you're not coming to this spray foam show this year, you, as a manufacturer, you offer training opportunities and help contractors other times of the year, right?
Correct, we do, and many times we just come right to their facility and we get involved with them at their shop, and if they're new with our material, we want to get out with them and make sure they're comfortable with it, that they understand where to set the parameters of the equipment. This equipment, you're usually setting the temperature and the pressure, and you're using certain gun with type of tips, and so we're happy to be a part of that, showing them exactly what's the best solutions there to use, depending on the weather, depending on their equipment and the time of day.
Right. And as with any roofing system and product, we always say it's only going to perform as well as, the quality. It's got to be installed, a quality installation, and installed correctly in order to perform like it's meant to perform. So it's really important to reach out and get that guidance and that training. And check out those videos when maybe you're rusty in an area, you haven't done it in a while. It's a quick refresher. It's great.
It is. I think, as much as you need to learn on the front end, it's also about maintaining that level of excellence. So it's about continuing to improve your skills there. And then maintenance. I mean, maintenance on your equipment is very important because, your car don't run if it doesn't have any oil in or gas in it. So, everybody, it's the first level is that investment, and then going through the training to how to drive well, and then, maintaining your equipment. So, you're always doing it safely. And that's what General Coatings wants to be a part of, is helping you do it safely and successfully. So, your jobs can earn you money, and your building owner clients can be very happy with your organization. Yeah.
So if you could pull out your crystal ball and take a look into the future, what do you see for the spray foam roofing market in terms of, innovation, sustainability? Especially as a manufacturer, you're probably always looking at what's next. What can we expect?
Well, I think, again, sustainability is a big thing for all of us. We all want to make an investment once and make incremental investments rather than have to make that investment, at a high level multiple times. And so spray foam is a great solution for that. We've got some newer products coming out with regard to coating systems that can be applied either at a high build, meaning at a thickness that you want in a single pass. So, you reduce your labor cost in applying the spray foam. And also we have a new product out there for as a vapor barrier product, a vapor retarder product for those cold storage, so it can be done and have a performing system with this newest technology that really has, an extremely low permeance, so the moisture can't penetrate and get into the building.
So one thing I didn't ask about, and we're hearing a lot about, so I want to ask the question, data centers. Are you seeing spray foam roofing system being considered as an option for data centers? And if not, why not?
I see some of it, but generally what's happening is in those new constructions, they're going with the established roof systems out there. We'd like to see spray foam get involved more into those things. I think it's just they're being designed by high-level architects and designers, and our job needs to do a better job of educating them on the value of spray foam. Right. We have so many great projects that our industry has done, and General Coatings has done with its contractor base, but I think many times that it's all about the lowest cost investment, and some of those things. I think those data centers many times are putting on roof systems that aren't the best sustainable systems, right. But they're what the lowest cost investment is they can make today. And we feel that spray foam walks that line real well, but a lot of people are really, like I said, they look for the absolute lowest cost. What I call the Sam's
Get what you
solution.
pay for. You get what you pay for, right? Well, and that's, our job as an industry really is to provide, like you said, that education for the architects, the specifiers, those that are designing those buildings. And that's why we do these kind of things like this podcast, right? Is to talk about the reasons why it makes sense and how it can work. And I know that, there's a lot of great examples out there. The SPFA does awards every year recognizing really cool projects and innovative and different projects. So if there is an awards dinner at the show, it's maybe an afternoon session this year. They changed it up a little bit. And I saw that it's sold out. So yeah, if you have your ticket, great. We hope to see you there. If not, check online afterward. I'm sure on Coatings Coffee Shop, we'll be running who the winners are, and you can take a look at those cool projects. And hopefully we see some general coatings systems on some of those projects.
We do have several important projects out there that we've been blessed that our contractors have done the work and submitted for the NIE awards, and we're looking forward to a very successful show. And I think our customers will be winners. If they don't win the awards, that we know that they've got great, happy customers because they've used spray foam on their jobs.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this was a fantastic conversation. As always, it's great to chat with you and help educate the industry, which, that's what our ultimate goal at the end of the day is, to bring that information and news and education to our contractors. So thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Karen. We always appreciate the opportunity to tell the world about spray foam roofing because it's fantastic.
I love it. And thank you, everybody out there, for listening. We're glad you're here. Please subscribe on your favorite podcast platform because we want to see you on a future episode. And be sure to visit General Coatings directory on the coffee shops. Has all this great information and links to how to get a hold of Will and his team to learn more about adding spray foam roofing to your business. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this coating adventure. Stay tuned for more episodes, and in the meantime, be sure to follow us on social media to stay updated with all things roof coatings. Until next time, stay coated. For more information, go to CoatingsCoffeeShop.com.